So it's been 35 years since you and Mark Allen first started New World Library. Did you ever imagine when you first started where this path would lead?
I really didn't. I had no idea. I was I was in my 20s. I'd graduated from college with a degree in dance, which wasn't going to really do much for me because I wasn't good enough to be a professional dancer. I'd done some traveling. I actually ended up traveling all around the world on kind of a shoestring, as a lot of us were doing in those days. And when I got back to my home in the San Francisco Bay Area, I realized that I was on some kind of path that had to do with me learning and developing myself as a person and discovering what my gifts are to share with the people in the world. And I just was really following my intuitive feeling, although at that time I didn't even know that much about intuition, but that's what I was doing. And one day I went to a workshop because, of course, I was reading all the metaphysical books and going to the workshops. And uh, in a workshop on creative visualization, the teacher had us write out, our expectations or our visions for next year, and then for 5 years, and then for 10 years. And I remember thinking, how do I know what I'm going to be doing in 5 years? My gosh, that seems like forever. Well, when I did the exercise, I actually wrote each thing for each of those years. I was shocked and amazed because this entire vision came to me that I really had no idea about. Writing books, leading workshops, traveling around the world, and all those things. And that's what has happened. That's what came about.
So it was really meant to be.
It was really meant to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Creative Visualization, which is an international bestseller now, was the book that started it all. So how did Creative Visualization come to be?
Well, at that point, my friend Mark Allen and I were leading workshops and imparting to people the things that we were learning that we were excited about. One of them being the technique of creative visualization, which is basically just being able to imagine something that you really want to such a real state that you actually help bring it into being in your life. And I was using that in my life for everything. Need a new apartment? Okay, I'll visualize that. Want to feel greater self esteem? Okay, I can visualize that. You can use it for so many things. So I was all excited about that and what I wanted to share it with people. And I was leading workshops at that point. So I decided I would write a little booklet, just a little, with a few of these ideas in it that we were learning. And so I sat down and I started writing, and I was really inspired and, really working on it for a while. And then something happened, and I just stopped. I got blocked, and I couldn't write anymore. And I realized that there was a part of me that was saying to me, who do you think you are? I mean, I had just begun all this work. Really, I was in just the first few years of this kind of self discovery. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's true. Well, who do I think I am that I would have, you know, things to impart to people that would be useful and valuable to them? So I stopped. And I stopped for several months. And really, what's interesting is what got me going again was the fact that I had actually sent out a little message to my people on my mailing list, saying that I was going to have this little booklet that would be available at a certain time, and they could send in $5, and I would send it to them when I got it done. So a few people sent me $5, and then I wasn't working on the book, and I started to feel so guilty that I said, I sent them word and said, I'll send your money back if you want. And they all basically responded, no, just keep it and send us the booklet when it's done. So I felt guilt was a perfect motivator for me at this point, which just goes to show you that anything in life can motivate us. Because then I really felt like, okay, I've got to get this done and send this to these poor people. So I did that, and I did finish it, and I did feel good about it. And we didn't even try to do anything with a big publisher. We just sort of decided to do our own publishing. And so I borrowed $1,000 from my mom so we could print up the books. And I took them around to the bookstores in our area. In those days, you could just do that, take them and put them on consignment. And the book began to sell, and gradually, as an underground book, and then just kept on for the last 40 years now.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, not only is New World Library 35 years older since this whole journey began, but you are as well. And so I'm curious how the aging process factors into this work and kind of what you've learned along the way as far as that goes.
Well, it's shocking. Absolutely shocking. I don't know who thought this up, but aging is really challenging, and I just never thought it was going to happen to me. But lo and behold, it does. And fortunately, it does tend to bring a certain amount of wisdom and understanding and deep depth of connection with life. And anything that we haven't yet really worked through starts coming up in later life. The things that we haven't got to yet, they begin to call our attention, like our bodies saying, maybe you need to not push me so much anymore. Maybe I need more time to, rest and recuperate or whatever.
Yeah.
And because in our culture, we are so identified with action and production and doing and making things happen, nothing wrong with any of that. But if we don't have that opposite side access to it, to be able to nurture ourselves and have being time, we're very good at doing in our culture. Most of us are not so good at being in a nurturing way. So that's what often life is bringing us in our older age, just the different qualities that we haven't developed yet, and now it's time to.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. What a wonderful way of looking at it. Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah.